Continuing along with our ISO installation of Kali, I'm going to choose the English language, hit continue. I'm in the United States. My keyboard is American English. It's going to go through some of the additional components that it needs to install. These are things that are pretty generic to Linux, so it's doing things like your drivers for your networking, your graphics, your hard disk. So I'm just going to pause real quick. Now it's asking for the host name. This is just how the computer is going to identify itself on the network. I'll just leave it as Kali. Domain name, I'm just going to leave it blank. If you have your own domain name, you can use it, but you don't necessarily need to worry about it. You're going to put in your root password here. It's really up to you. You'll want to keep it secure. Good passwords are very important. You'll want to use a password manager. For the purposes of this, let's just go with something I am not going to tell you. Now it's going to be setting up NTP so that it can get the clock time. I am in the Eastern time zone. It's going to be detecting the disks. You can see that this is kind of a drawn out process. This is a typical Linux installation, and then Kali is going to install itself on top of Linux. So I'm going to use guided, use the entire disk. All files in one partition. Keep it nice and simple. Obviously, if you were doing this on a dual boot system, you'd probably want to be a little more careful than I'm being here, but that's fine. So now it's going to format the partitions. It's going to install the system onto this. And again, because this is in a virtual computer, it's not going to impact the host system that I'm on at all. It is just going to impact the virtual box that we're in. So it's not actually changing the partitions on my Windows machine. And this way, if something goes really wrong, I can very easily just wipe the Kali installation and start over. Or I can revert back to a snapshot. Because this can take a minute, I'm going to